Breaking news in our world lead, CNN is learning that a piece of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi's underwear and a blood sample were used to help identify the elusive and barbaric ISIS leader prior to Saturday's deadly raid and afterwards. This comes as moments ago, President Trump tweeted out a photo of the hero dog involved in the operation, though the dog's name remains classified. CNN's Barbara Starr is at the Pentagon. And Barbara, first of all, obviously such a good boy. But beyond that, tell us more about using the blood sample in the underwear and how that was used to track down and identify Baghdadi.
Well, Wolf, the Syrian Democratic Forces, the Kurdish allies that the U.S. had in Syria, say they had an informant inside ISIS who led them to where Baghdadi had been. They were able to obtain a piece of his underwear, use a blood sample, all of this to establish a DNA identity before they went on the raid. All of this as we learn additional new details today about how the raid unfolded. U.S. aircraft using bombs, missiles, and rockets to destroy Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi's compound. After special forces used the cover of darkness, 8 helicopters carrying as many as 100 U.S. Special Operations Forces landed at a compound in northern Syria. They entered after blowing holes on the side of the building, believing the front door might be booby-trapped. The president said the special ops teams were met by local gunfire on the ground that was quickly squashed. At least 2 ISIS fighters were captured. According to the president, Baghdadi was chased into a tunnel by military dogs while bringing 3 children with him. The tunnel came to a dead end where he eventually detonated a suicide vest that killed him and the children.
He's dead. He's dead as a doornail.
Baghdadi's remains were disposed of at sea by a U.S. military aircraft, according to 2 defense officials. But the world may be about to see even more of what happened during the 2 hours U.S. commandos were on the ground.
We do have video, photos. We're not prepared at this time to release those. They're going through a declassification process.
The president painted a picture that the ISIS leader was weak.
He died a coward. Crying, whimpering, screaming. And
Iraqi officials say 2 months ago they captured one of Baghdadi's closest collaborators. He is said to have provided information about one of the couriers that Baghdadi used. That courier was killed, but documents led to his wife, who then led them to more paperwork with Baghdadi's location. Baghdadi, who'd been on the run for more than 5 years, was eventually tracked down with the help of intelligence from the Kurds. The withdrawal of U.S. forces from Syria had a major impact on the operation, according to one U.S. official. U.S. troops now are moving back into Syria's oil fields to keep ISIS from coming back and selling oil to finance its operations. But for the first time, a specific nod from the defense secretary that U.S. troops could find themselves defending against other military forces. Does that include denying access, preventing Russian or Syrian forces, which now have changed the battle space?
So the short answer is yes, it presently does.
Okay, so let's go back to this. Here's a picture, again, of the dog that the president said went on the raid with Delta Force commandos. They are not yet releasing the name of the dog. We can see his face or her face, but the dog's name under Delta Force rules remains classified. The dog apparently taking off any nameplate, any identifying marks of his or her identity. The dog, we are told, suffered some electrocution injuries, but is recovering. And look, military working dogs, the U.S. military can't conduct its operations these days without them. They are vital partners on the battlefield. But even this dog, its mission was to bring justice to the families of so many hundreds, if not thousands of people that suffered at the hands of Baghdadi's ISIS. Jake?
All right, Barbara Starr from the Pentagon, thank you so much.